GMO, glyphosate, and Marmon Health, Part 4. GMO makes ulcers in pigs. I've seen that in my sow herd, and we had out of 500 sows, the worst year we had 30 pigs die of stomach-related issues. There was ulcers and bloat primarily. And we saw that when we went from GMO soy to non-GMO soy, that just disappeared. No pigs had that sickness anymore. And the Knowledge Center for Pigs in Denmark, they volunteered to make a study in pigs regarding ulcers, feeding them GMO soy or non-GMO soy from weaning till slaughter. And it's a very well-made study, and I'm going to talk about it in this episode. The study is set up in the way that ulcers is graded on a scale from 0 to 10. The Knowledge Center only seem to reckon that the number 8, 9, and 10, the three last photos in the slides here, I think they're just get my pen ready. These three, they are the ones that they call severe ulcers. This is larger than 2 centimeter ulcerations. The one before here is between a half centimeter and 2 centimeter. And then there is one where it's just talking about ulcers, it's 0 to 0.5 centimeter. And then there is different sort of, this is north, it means it has no ulcers. There is absolutely no problem with that one. Then you start to get a little bit up here. You can see a little bit of get more coarse, and then it ends up getting so that all this coarseness end up falling off, and then you start to get ulcers. And when you look at a pig that has severe ulcers, then there's scar tissues because there's been so many ulcerations that you cannot even push a pen into the stomach because the tissues is closed so much that you can't get a pen into the stomach. And the Danish Knowledge Center for Pigs made this fantastic pig study of feeding them non-GM or GM soya from weaning to slaughter to see if there was any resemblance in what I've seen into my pig herd. And they focused on the severe ulcers, those that give, as it's painful and give less appetite to pigs because they have a financial factor into it. So they count on group 8, 9, and 10 in severity of ulcers. They say this is bigger than 2 centimeter ulcers, and they hurt, and so the pigs don't eat so well, and it hurts production. There is actually, in the GMO side, there was 13.7% more pigs with ulcers in the severe end. Well, if you actually include the group 7 in severity, they are the ones from 0.5 centimeter to 2 centimeter of ulcerations. And add up the data from there, then there is 17% more pigs with ulcers. And all of them has worse stomach health. So if you take from 7 to 30 kilo, there was 14 dead. That's about 50% more medicine used as well in the GMO fed groups. Well, the 50% medicine use extra is exactly what I saw in my pig herd. In the weaners, we dropped to half the medicine use. So there is a lot of resemblance in this study. And also there's 14 dead, and there was only 7 dead in the non-GMO group. So half the mortality was not to like. Even this study, it's difficult to go to a conventional grain store and then say, okay, now you need to make 1 lorry load of non-GM pig food, and you'll find out that there's going to be some carryover because there's a lot of pipes and there's any corners you can have a bit of GMOs stuck in. They worked out by testing that there is between 450 and 750 grams per 100 kilo that GMO soya that has found its way into the non-GMO pellets. So the first study was done on the ulceration in the main part of the stomach, and now they're grading ulcers and inflammations in the fundus part of the stomach. That's upper part, I believe, of the stomach. And you can see these pictures. I don't know if you can see where it says North underneath. That's where there is absolutely no ulcers. And then the top right one has got a tree, as the worst one is where more than 10% of the fundus part of the stomach has got ulcerations. So when we're looking at these, and they did the statistics on it, then for some reason they decided that it was better to show it like this, that it's not very many in the severe and certainly not any in the very severe. And but it still shows that there is 6 to 7% more with ulcers in that part of the stomach in the GMO fed group compared to the non-GMO. And this is the inflammation in the stomach, and you can see it's similar. There was no difference really in this study. You can say there was a little bit more for the GMO there, but it's benign. It's not much, and so it still shows the same as in the rest of the stomach, that you have more ulcers in the GMO fed group. Then they did a glyphosate test of the feed, because you know that it's you could say, okay, but maybe it's not the GMO, because we don't really want that to have a bad name, so we blame glyphosate, but that's not really an option either. But so they did test the glyphosate levels in the food in the groups, and what you can see actually is that unwillingly they have made a study that was only on GMOs, because if you add a thing equal on both sides, you can sort of count it out. And if you look down here in the last period, the main part of the growth period, there has been a very similar level of Roundup residues left in the feed. And it's also due with, okay, the non-GM had some Roundup residues in it. I'm surprised to see how much actually. I didn't find that much in my pig's food when I fed them non-GM soil. But that is contamination from the spray that you desiccate the field with before you plant. And if you look at this red box up here, it's a lot of 1 load of barley that they have mixed in the feed that also contained glyphosate, because it would have been sprayed down. So that little red box there made that everything equaled up. As the Knowledge Center for Pigs, they found 13.7% more pigs with ulcers, higher percentage with ulcers, when they fed GMO soya compared to non-GMO. They would have had to go and tell the farmers, hey, stop feeding GMO soya to your pigs. It's hurt their stomach, and it hurts your profitability. And but that is a political hot topic in the farmers union. So they didn't want to come to that conclusion. So Instead, they invited Monsanto to come and look at what they could do about this. And Monsanto was, of course, eager to help. And they came and said, but you have only got 150 pigs in each group. It's not really large enough to start making ruptions and change all Danish farmers' 30 million pigs a year diet. So we come up with that you better make a larger study that sort of can show more exact data, Monsanto said. And so what the results was of the second study, that 77% of the males contracted ulcers and 58% of the females had ulcers. But that was of all the pigs. But the GMO group had actually got 9% more pigs with ulcers. So it's still it's not as significant because they did some tricks to widen the gap to what they before it's statistically significant, and that the gaps that they made was made by adding 1,072 pigs into each group to start with. At 30 kilo, they say, okay, but we take 260 pigs out of each group. So they did that, but there was a difference in the weight between the two groups. Non-GMO had grown the most. They had grown 0.6 kilo more in average at 30 kilo of weight. So they sent the top layer, the heaviest ones, to market in Germany out of the study. That was all the good stomachs, mainly from the non-GM group. And then they go and level out by taking the smallest ones, maybe a little bit in both groups, but mainly in the GMO-fed group, and take them in next door out of the study. Because then they had room to fatten them up all the way to 100 kilo in the same pig house. Well, when you do that, you just removed a lot of pigs that is most likely to have ulcers, especially in the GMO group, as they were the smallest pigs. So that was what they tricked with at 30 kilo. But when they got to 100 kilo, and note, it's not financial, all this, it's simply a technique that they try to disguise a good finding. Yeah. But it cost €6 to check one pig's stomach. So it's not a matter of costs or anything like that. It's fairly cheap to examine when they're already in the slaughterhouse. And so at 100 kilo of weight, they did another trick. They say, but it could be the transport time to the slaughterhouse that will cause ulcers because it's stressful for the pigs. Okay, who knows? But certainly not old ulcers. But then they take the 100 pigs from each group, put ear numbers in them, and send them off. They don't tell the guys in the slaughterhouse which ear numbers it belongs to what group. That part is okay. But they only do this twice, so they only end up checking 200 out of the 700 or 812 pigs that is left in each group. So by doing that, you raise the statistic difference that is needed to get a significant result. And that suits them very well because they did not want to find one. And they also made sure that when the smallest in the GMO flock had to be slaughtered, that there would be absolutely nobody to compare them to or to send to slaughterhouse at the same time in the non-GMO groups. So of course, all the pigs with the most severe ulcers, they did not get tested in this study. Okay, what you can find out when you get Monsanto to help you. And there was a good story about this study. The only good story really was that they had tested the level of glyphosate in the feed, and I talked about that earlier. where the only difference is the GMO insert. So GMOs is the reason for ulcers. It's not Roundup. It's the GMO insert that makes the ulcers. In this second study, they also split the stomach lesions, if you like, the health data up in 4 categories. The first category, which is this one, was the redness of as an inflammation of the stomach in the fundus part, and they found out that the GMO had about 7.5% more pigs with inflammations in a severe way. But they also find that 2% of pigs when they looked at this group, and this is ulcerations. There was not many ulcerations in this part of the stomach, but they did find that there was actually 1 or 2 or 3 pigs more out of the 200 examined in each group in the non-GMO that had ulcerations, but it was the slightest ulcerations of a half or near a half centimeter in ulcerations. But then when you look at this one here, it's brown coloring and yes, brown coloring in the fundus. Then it's GMO flock that has the worst. It had about slightly more pigs with brown folding in the fundus part. And this last one was folds in the fundus, and that means that the tissue has got sort of irritated so much that it got stiff, if you like, and again you have a little bit more in the GMO flock in the end here. So that was what they found in this research here. They're trying to see is there any difference where the wounds come, etc. Ulcers are a serious problem in modern pig production. In 2013, the Knowledge Center for Pigs made a huge study on ulcers in Denmark with more than 100,000 pigs in the study. They simply checked all these pigs across the board from many different herds in Denmark. And the conclusion was that 11% of slaughter pigs and 25% of sows had severe ulcer when they get slaughtered. And 30% of piglets, or 51% of sows, has scars from or has had ulcers when they get slaughtered in Denmark. This is a remarkable difference from the study in 88 to 90 that I talked about in the previous episode of this. And because there was no sows with ulcer of the 50 sows that got slaughtered after they terminated the study. They found no ulcers at all. They found one sow that had severe inflammation in the stomach. And that sow was fed Roundup sprayed grains. No GMOs. But in the meantime, from 1990 to 2013, we have had GMO soy come on the agenda. And increasingly, as it has been introduced, I think you can safely say that by 2013, it will be 100% or 99% in the food that the Danish pigs are eating. And you have these remarkable results. Well, that's the only difference there is the Roundup genetic insert in the soya. So really, you should think about what happened since 88 to 90 and until 2013. The only thing you can think of is GMO soya. That's the only difference. And that's what I've seen in my pigs. When I stopped feeding GMO soya, I stopped having ulcers in my pigs. So what's left to this study is to claim that we didn't see anything at all, of course. Not even in the first study that was conducted according to how it should have been done, and it found a statistic significance of 13.7 pigs percent more pigs with ulcers when feeding GMO soy. But of course, the Knowledge Center had a mission, and that is to say GMOs don't cause any harm. So they try and wash that difference away by stating that, but you see, this is because 2 to 5% more particles was in the rough sieve. They have like a layer of rough, medium, and fine sieves. Then they sort them and they find out that there is a little bit more bigger fractions when they have been through the mill. But that is not really concerning this study, because this is not milled grain, this is pellets. So okay, it has been milled first, but then it's been knocked into pellets, and then it's not at all the same issue. There is no more health effects, good health effects in having a more coarse food. So they try to say that because the non-GMO were fed grains, that they would like to make sure they were not fed grains that were sprayed with glyphosate or Roundup, so they used milling wheat, and that in Denmark does not get sprayed. So they were sure that there was no glyphosate in it. That was definitely not the reason. And but it could also have been simply that that grain was drier, or somehow it made a more coarse texture when it came out of the hammer mill. So they say that that's the whole reason that we have seen less stomach ulcers in the first study in the non-GMO side, because of, sorry, we made a mistake with the mill. But that's a bogus claim, because look at their own study here. If you go down and see this last in the yellow line, it says here it says 6.4%, and over here it says 6.9%. So if you have a coarse milling and you then push it into pellet, then it works the opposite way. It works that it is more likely to make ulcers. So really, they should say that even if it was coarser, they still didn't have very many ulcers. So this is a bogus claim contradicting exactly what they have found in their own studies. But this is what they rely on. This is only a study that was not meant to get publicized anywhere, and nobody bothers to look at it because they just look at the conclusions. And the conclusion is that there is no harm from GMO soy, which is a bogus claim, by the way. There is harm from GMO soy. Could all this have been a smear campaign against me? The farming press have me on the photo here. I was not invited for this seminar that Knowledge Center for Pigs has every year. I was not at all aware that they would be talking about this GMO feeding trial, because then I would have been there. And they even made it that highlighted that took Jan W. Pedersen from DTU. This is a man who allowed the entry of GMO soy in the 90s, and he said there's absolutely no problems with that. But he's talking on Roundup issues, because they definitely don't want any fingers pointed on Roundup. And then this is Niels Kelsen, who is a scientist who is the leader of the Knowledge Center for Pigs, and he is the guy who conducted these two studies. And they are presenting this study, and at the annual conference there, they were hammering on about that this Danish pig farmer that has caught so much Russians, he was just not right in anything he said about his pig story, because We have conducted this last study and we did not find anything, so we can't count on anything, this guy, he says. This is the whole idea of making this study. But the sad thing is that they're just making a bogus claim, because the study did find significant more ulcers when they feed GMO soy to them. And it's just sad that the politic in the farming union is so hot on getting GMOs allowed in Denmark that they will definitely not point fingers regarding that it's the biggest problem in pig production, in wieners and baconers. They will rather let a lot of farmers face bankruptcy than they will put a finger on the sanity of using GMOs into pig food or for anything else food. So in the real result of this is that more than 2 to 4 million pigs extra in Denmark will go to slaughter with ulcers per year. And I think that this is very bad. I know a lot of farmers who has got lots of issues and also financial issues, and I also know that many of them has got also as a problem in the pig houses, and I think that the farmers' own union should be taking care of telling people how to get out of these problems when they actually know it. Just before 2010, in America, a GMO-fed contra non-GMO-fed pig study was conducted by Judy Carman and Howard Vlieger. It gave similar results as my South observation, and it also goes in line with what Knowledge Center for Pigs find in their studies. The inflammation in the stomach went up by 16% in males and 22% in females when fed GMO soy and maize. And there was also another significant finding in this study, and that was that the increase of the ovarians was more than 25% compared to the pig's body weight when they slaughtered them. And this is early maturity, or what can we deduct from that? We don't actually know if it's a problem that can lead to a fertility problem later in life, or it's just that they get fertile earlier. But in the humans in America, they are seeing today that children, they go in puberty long before their parents did. And has that got to do with the hormonal effect of Roundup residue? Has it got to do with any other effects in the humans? We don't know. But when you look at the pig study, you can say that they definitely haven't been out to party or smoke or anything like that. So they have only got the feed that was given to them in this study. And there would be more Roundup in the GMO-fed group, of course, as it's Roundup ready. And will that amount to a hormonal capacity in the body so that you get in early puberty? Could be, needs to be found out. So there's more people working on it, but since 2015, nobody has touched it with a barge broom. The conclusion from the 2 Danish studies and this American study is the same. GMO makes ulcers and stomach redness, inflammation. We don't actually know what causes what, but the Danish study with the known levels of glyphosate in the feed points to that it's the GMOs that actually make the ulcers. And it's also a reason that we can explain the explosive amount of ulcers in pigs from 1990 till today. In the next episode, I'll be talking about how the new GMOs, the next generation CRISPR GMOs, they compare to the old GMOs, and I will come with my very best guess on what will happen if we willingly introduce CRISPR GMOs in farming and without any sort of oversight or test. And I'm a little bit scared about this. I will talk about that in the next episode.